The training dome of Vargan Military Academy hummed with a low, eerie vibration. Rows of razor-lined seats circled the center pit, and the walls were covered with trophies, bones, fangs, shattered helmets. The Vargan cadets admired them with pride. Each represented a victory earned through tooth, claw, and brutality. Today the dome awaited something special, a challenge, a test, a humiliation. Instructors had arrived 2 hours earlier to sharpen the cadets. New weapons, claws, each claw gauntlet, carried curved, obsidian-like blades long enough to pierce armored hide. The cadets' muscles twitched with anticipation. They were predators, born to tear, to hunt, to dominate. And their target? A human. A girl. A human girl. Her name was Kira Holt, age 17. Exchange student from Earth's Defense Corps. She stood calmly in the center of the pit. No armor, no weapon, no claws, just her bare hands wrapped with thin training tape that already looked worn. The Vargan cadets laughed when they saw her. Is this a joke? She has no claws! She doesn't even have fangs. But Instructor Tarek, a creature nearly 3 meters tall with plates of bone jutting from his skin, raised a hand for silence. This is no joke, he growled. Earth insists their young excel at hand-to-hand. Today you will test their claim. Kira stretched her wrists, then rolled her shoulders, calm, controlled. Her heartbeat measured, steady. A few cadets sniffed the air. She isn't afraid. Impossible. Tarek's mandibles clicked. She asked for one rule. No claws held back. Strike to win. Gasps rippled around the dome. She asked for that? She's insane! Kira just smiled faintly. Let's get started. The first 3 cadets dropped into the pit. Their claws gleamed under the dome lights. Tarek's arm dropped, and the ground shook as the predators charged. Cadet Rovax launched himself first, swinging a clawed arm downward. He moved like a blur, confident that the human would freeze like prey. But Kira wasn't prey. She stepped inside his attack, closer. Not farther, and her elbow snapped upward with surgical precision, cracking Rovax's jaw. Before gravity caught him, she twisted her hips and drove her palm into his chest. He flew backward, claws scraping the floor. The dome erupted with shocked roars. The other 2 cadets didn't hesitate. One tried to rake her spine from behind. She dropped low, sweeping his legs clean out from under him. As he fell, she popped up and smashed a heel into his sternum. The 3rd cadet came right on top of her, claws descending like twin scythes. Kira caught his wrist. The entire arena went silent. She had caught a Vargan claw strike with one hand. Her grip tightened. Bones cracked. The cadet roared in agony, but before he could wrench away, she pivoted behind him and locked his arm in a tight hold. A twist, a yank. He collapsed, claws falling from limp fingers. 3 cadets, down in seconds. Instructor Tarek stared at her. For the first time in many cycles, he felt something alien. Respect. Kira brushed dust off her hands. Next group? The second wave entered, 5 cadets this time. You are outnumbered 5 to 1, Tarek warned. Kira exhaled. Good, finally something interesting. The dome lights dimmed and the predator struck as a pack. Their coordinated assault would have shredded a normal fighter. Vargans attacked from all angles, high, low, left flank, right flank, back line. A perfect pincer formation. Kira didn't break formation. She walked into them. Her movements weren't fast, they were precise. Human Earth-style martial arts mixed with microgravity combat training. One cadet swung horizontally at her ribs. She didn't dodge. She sidestepped exactly 1 inch. The blade missed her by a hair. And then she planted her palm in his solar plexus. He gasped, collapsing. Another cadet leapt at her from above. Kira rolled, grabbed his arm mid-flight, and redirected his momentum into the stone floor. 2 down! The last 3 cadets circled her, snarling, claws raised high. Human, one hissed. You cannot beat all of us bare-handed. Kira smirked. I'm not fighting your claws. She raised her fists. I'm fighting you. They attacked together. One slashed at her head. She weaved and landed a sharp, clean jab to his throat. He dropped instantly. Another jabbed at her stomach. She trapped his wrist, flipped him over her shoulder, and disarmed him with a twist. The last cadet roared, swinging wildly, losing all technique. Fury replaced training. Kira stepped in, grabbed his arm, and guided his own momentum right into the arena wall. Silence. The entire dome had gone silent. Tarek's eyes narrowed. She is analyzing them. Of course she was. Kira wasn't just fighting. She was studying, learning, predicting. Humans weren't predators. They were problem solvers. And these cadets were a problem she had already solved. She faced Tarek. Send all of them at once. Shock, outrage, confusion. All? Tarek echoed. You would face all 30 cadets at the same time? Armed? Kira tied her hair into a bun. Try me. The pit filled with bodies. 30 predator cadets, armed with 30 pairs of obsidian claws. The dome shook from the combined weight. Tarek gave them one final warning. Do not kill the human. But do not hold back. The cadets raised their claws. The signal horn blared. The storm descended. Kira closed her eyes for half a second. Exhale. Then she moved. She didn't stay still for a moment. Humans were weaker, smaller, softer, so she used the only advantage humans always had. Speed! Technique. Strategy. She weaved between deadly arcs of claws, feet gliding across the floor like she was dancing. Each movement served 3 purposes: avoid, counter, reposition. A cadet lunged at her throat. She ducked, swept his feet, and used his falling body as a springboard to flip behind 2 others. A volley of claws slashed where she had stood, tearing the air. Another cadet came from above. She caught his ankle mid-air, yanked him down, and slammed him onto 2 approaching attackers. She grabbed the arm of one cadet, then used it as a shield against another's claws. They stopped instantly. They were about to strike their comrade. And that hesitation, tiny, instinctive, was enough. Kira's elbow crashed into the first cadet's ribs. Her knee hammered into the second's abdomen. She vaulted off their falling bodies and into the next group. She moved like a storm. Strikes were minimal, sharp, efficient, and aimed at pressure points. She disabled joints, collapsed muscles, knocked breath from lungs. The cadets attacked harder, faster, angrier, but anger clouded instinct. Kira had no claws, but she had clarity. One by one, they dropped. Some clutched their ribs. Some couldn't stand. Some lay groaning on the floor, claws scattered like broken teeth. Finally, the last cadet, a massive one named Gorlak, stood alone, panting, claws quivering. How are you still standing? He growled. Kira approached him calmly. Because you fight like predators. She raised her fists. I fight like a human. Gorlak roared and charged, claws raised. Kira pivoted. Her fist shot forward, straight into his sternum. The entire dome winced at the sound. Gorlak collapsed like a falling boulder. 30 cadets, armed, defeated by one human girl with bare hands. The training dome looked like a battlefield. Cadets lay everywhere. Medical bots hovered, checking vitals and administering bone-knit foam. Even the instructors appeared stunned. Tarek jumped into the arena, landing with a heavy thud. He walked up to Kira, towering over her. You humiliated them, he said quietly. Kira bowed her head respectfully. I only showed them how humans train. No, Tarek said, voice hard. You showed them something else. He lowered himself to one knee. You showed them what discipline looks like. Gasps spread through the dome. A Vargan instructor kneeling to a human? Kira blinked. Instructor, please, you don't... I do, Tarek growled. Strength without control is meaningless. Today you taught my cadets something no predator school ever taught. He rose, turning to the entire class. Remember this day. You faced an unarmed human girl and lost, not because you were weak, but because she turned every weakness she had into an advantage. He looked at Kira. You are welcome in my academy, and in my respect. Kira nodded slowly. Then let me teach your cadets something else. Tarek's brow rose. What? Kira smiled. That humans don't fight to dominate. We fight to protect. The cadets, humbled but watching her with new eyes, slowly got to their feet. One stepped forward, a younger cadet who had been knocked out early. Human, he muttered, rubbing his sore ribs. Teach us. Kira offered him her hand. Call me Kira. And for the first time in Vargan history, Predator cadets shook hands with a human instructor. Not out of fear, not out of pride, but out of respect.